On the news, Labour Minister and National Assembly lawmakers disagree over employment of 774,000 youths by the federal government. Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu tests positive for coronavirus. And China passes controversial national security Hong Kong bill. A warm welcome to News Now. I am Fidelia Aguncha. There was mild drama at the National Assembly today as federal lawmakers clashed with the Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, over the special public works program where 774,000 Nigerians would be recruited by the federal government. A joint committee of the National Assembly and House of Representatives had invited the minister to explain how a 20-man committee was selected for the program. However, a heated argument erupted between the minister and the lawmakers. The minister was thereafter directed to leave the meeting, after which the lawmakers suspended work of the selection committees nationwide. Reacting in a statement issued after the meeting, Keyamo rejected the decision of the lawmakers, saying, quote, "Their powers under Section 88 of the 1999 Constitution is only limited to investigations, but not to give any directive to the executive." He thereafter directed the committees set up for the program to proceed with their work. Under the Special Public Works Program, 1,000 persons would be selected from each of the 774 local government areas of the country to be engaged by the government under the National Directorate for Employment. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Senate has asked the Nigeria Customs Service to account for an operation surplus of 34 billion naira incurred in 2019. The lawmakers made a demand when the management of the Nigeria Customs Service appeared before the Senate Committee on Customs, Excise and Tariff. They stressed that it is important for the customs to block all revenue leakages to the nation's finances as the country is in dire need of money to fund the 2020 budget. Tunjoye reports.
It is about the third time the Nigeria Customs Service is appearing before the Senate Committee on Customs, Excise and Tariff, but at each occasion the custom is found wanting. At this latest interface with the committee, the Nigeria Customs Service was accused of non-remittance of about 34 billion naira operation surplus.
Your own percentage was given to you in 2019. That was about 34 billion, you remember? Where is the surplus of 2019, which should have been given to you in 2020? It was not reflected here. Because you exceeded your target to up to 1.35 trillion. Where is the surplus of that 2019?
Yes.
It has not been declared.
Most of the times, we don't have this operation surplus because our budget is solely on our 7% cost of collection. And that is the reason why we always highlight to the members, distinguished, to always look at our service as if we return money as surplus, and it happened that our revenue base has come down, there is nobody who is going to give us intervention.
The customs is expected to declare the surplus of the operational fund yearly, but the committee said the revenue agency has refused to do so for the year 2019.
If there is going to be auction sales, you want you to have authority for auction sales? They are the authority. They are the authority. Okay, good.
The only gift, they don't have the
we want to know all this is your, and this is the sales you make within the period, and where you paid it in, because it is not reflected in your IGR here.
The revenue target given to the service was 1.6 trillion naira, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it was reviewed downward to 957 billion naira. The committee, however, is of the opinion that the 1.6 trillion naira is still achievable despite the corona pandemic.
We shouldn't have given you target. I know the meaning of target. target is a lazy way of collecting revenue. You are aiming towards this, and after that, it means immediately you pass it, the remaining goes away. It is you now who go and block it, because there is no way the federal government can fund budget with borrowed money every year. We just borrowed 10 trillion now.
We have already calculated the elements of the surplus, because as at maybe December or November, we have already hit our target. So we anticipate that there will be some surplus for us given to us. But those surpluses cannot be given till we realize the target. So we put the element of that surplus that we are expecting and we key it into the budget.
The Customs Service is seen as a key revenue agency of government, and with the pandemic which has affected all revenue projections of government, looking inward to generate revenue becomes important for the federal government to fund the 2020 budget. From Abuja, Tunjoye, TV360 News.
Well, let's now talk security. Troops of Operation Gamma Aiki have arrested 2 foreigners after airstrikes conducted by the Air Force disrupted armed bandit cattle rustling operations in Mariga local government area of Niger State. In a press statement released on Tuesday, Coordinator Defense Media Operations Major General John Anenche said the successful air operations were conducted on the night of June 28 and in the early hours of June 29. An ID recovered from one of the suspects revealed that he is a member of the Sudanese Red Crescent Society. Anenche said the operation followed credible intelligence reports indicating that some armed bandits in black attire were seen on the move with a large number of rustled cattle in the area. And to politics, another member of the All Progressives Congress in Ondo State, Olushola Oke, has formally declared his intention to contest the forthcoming governorship election in the state. Oke today submitted his nomination and expression of interest forms at the National Secretariat of the party in Abuja. Speaking after submitting the forms, the APC member said bad leadership and anti-party activities made the APC lose 2 senatorial seats in the 2019 election. He will now go head-to-head with incumbent State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu and other aspirants in the July 20 primary election of the APC. The Ondo governorship election will hold on October 10, 2020. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has dismissed the suit filed by a former national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshomole, challenging his suspension from the party. A 3-man panel of judges presided over by Justice Uchechukwu Onyemena unanimously dismissed the appeal on Tuesday at the request of the former APC national chairman. Oshomole had approached the court seeking to challenge his suspension from the party by officials of his ward in Edo State. The development is coming days after the former Edo State governor announced that he has accepted the dissolution of the APC National Working Committee and will withdraw all court cases challenging his suspension. The National Industrial Court sitting in Yanogwa, Bayelsa State has ordered the reinstatement of 7 demoted lecturers of the Federal University Otoke in Ogbia local government area of the state. Justice Bashiru Aikali, who gave the order on Tuesday, also awarded the sum of 20 million naira as damages against the institution in favor of the lecturers. He ruled that the claimants be reinstated to their full status, while their privileges and entitlements should be paid by the institution. The governing council of the university had in 2019 made key decisions, including appointments and disciplines, which led to the reclassification of some academic appointments. Let's now take a break here, but still to come. Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu tests positive for COVID-19 as the federal government reviews plans to impose lockdown on some local government areas worst hit by the pandemic.
Hello, I'm Dr. Taufik Adeyemi, consultant orthopedic spine surgeon at National Orthopedic Hospital, Bovile, Lagos. I'm here at the platform of Scoliosis Focus Initiative program on World Scoliosis Day. Scoliosis is an abnormal sideway curvature of the spine with some rotation. These patients present with uneven shoulders, a hump in the back, and even pelvis. Majority of these cases are painless. Up to 5% of our population have scoliosis, and majority of them are idiopathic, meaning that the cause is unknown. You need a thorough history examination with quality X-ray to make an assessment. Your doctor will advise you on the best treatment modality for your child. Scoliosis Focus Initiative is organizing a 2 weeks free online consultation to help you during this COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.
Welcome back. Here are the stories we've been bringing you at this time. Minister of State for Labor and Employment Festus Keyamo has clashed with lawmakers at the National Assembly over the Special Public Works Program, which seeks to create employment for 774,000 Nigerians. After meeting the minister earlier today, the lawmakers ordered the suspension of the selection process for the program and an order which the minister has rejected. Troops of Operation Gamma Aiki have arrested 2 foreigners after airstrikes conducted by the Air Force disrupted armed bandits' cattle rustling operations in Mariga local government area of Niger State. An ID recovered from one of the suspects revealed that he is a member of the Sudanese Red Crescent Society. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has dismissed a suit filed by former national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshomole, challenging his suspension from the party. The development is coming days after the former Edo State governor announced that he has accepted the dissolution of the APC National Working Committee and will withdraw all court cases challenging his suspension. And to our COVID-19 coverage, Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu has contracted the novel coronavirus. Akeredolu confirmed his status on his verified Twitter handle on Tuesday. The governor, who said he is asymptomatic, said he has been self-isolating and working from home. In a video attached to the tweet, Akeredolu said he took the COVID-19 test after being treated for malaria.
I had malaria a few days ago and was treated. I did get over it. And as at the time, we had a party neck, and my colleagues called on me. I spoke with one of them who felt that, look, malaria should not be just treated lightly, but that I should go ahead and have a test for COVID-19. I tested positive, but I am asymptomatic. I'm not feeling sick, neither am I feeling hard in any way. But my doctors have decided that I should take the normal treatments and self-isolate.
Well, amid rising COVID-19 cases in the country, the federal government says it may impose a lockdown on 18 local government areas considered to account for 60% of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Nigeria. Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, gave the indication while briefing State House correspondents after members of the PTF met with President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday. According to the PTF chairman, the affected state government would implement what he called precision lockdown in the local government areas.
Precision lockdown, like I said, we have identified 18 local governments out of the 774 local governments that are considered to be high burden with this infection. They account for 60% of the figure you have of the 24,077 infections. Those 18 local governments account for 60%. of those figures. And the reason for the precision lockdown is to in place in those places specific measures that will be administered by the state governments and the local authorities. It's not for the federal government, it is the responsibility of the state governments and the local authorities to put in place measures which might be similar to the first response we had.
The International Human Rights Commission is looking to ease the burden on Nigerians amid the COVID-19 pandemic through the provision of face masks and face shields. The country head of body disclosed in which all present first, acknowledging the recognition conferred on him. The minister says the move to ameliorate Nigeria as it fares for the lives of citizens at this time.
In presentation of this plaque, I also initiated a program that I feel has been approved, has been sent to the World Headquarters and has since been approved by the World Headquarters to complement the effort of Nigerian government. What we did was to look into our local productivity to be able to see how we can provide face masks to all Nigerians, if possible, all Nigerians. But in the average, we should be able to reach out to an average Nigerians in terms of having the face mask for almost free.
We know that very soon, the interstate borders are going to be open. Domestic flights will soon resume. These also increase the risk, but of course we have to balance things. We have to balance the need to allow people to make a living, for our economy to continue, and also the health challenges.
As COVID-19 cases reach record highs in Nigeria, forward-thinking Nigerians have been crafting solutions to prevent the spread of the pandemic. In Lagos, a product developer has teamed up with business partners to create a hand sanitizer kit which he calls disseminate. Anetta Felix tells us more in this report.
It's designed like a wristwatch, but this is a hand sanitizer kit. This innovative design is the brainchild of Remi Agbetui, a banker for 25 years and now product developer. Since COVID-19 became a global pandemic, Remi set his mind on designing a product to reduce its spread in Nigeria. After weeks of brainstorming, he came up with this refillable hand sanitizer kit, which he calls disseminate. He now works with a small team of 5 to draw simple patterns on leather, cut it out, sew and glue it together to create simple but functional leather pouches to hold hand sanitizers for easy access.
I decided that, okay, let's look at how we can create a product that will ease the usage of sanitizer at any point in time, whereby if you touch and you touch and you touch, you can, always have your hands sanitized immediately.
We see that people use sanitizer, and we just look at it in this way that the use of this sanitizer, once you put it in your pocket, while your hand is infected, that place your hand touches, there are chances that your hand can transmit that infection. By the time you are in the bus or you are holding money and you discover that you are not too comfortable with what you've touched so far, instantly you could just press it, then sanitize your hand.
In just a few months of rollouts, users of the kits have been leaving positive reviews on its design and functionality.
I find this device so useful because carrying a big jar of hand sanitizer around is quite hectic. So I need to just put a little in the bottle you're seeing. After filling it for a week, I can use it for the rest of the week.
It's fashionable. You can just put it, it's just like armband. You put it in your hand, it's easy. Than for me to now use that hand or put sanitizer in my pocket, which is not easy. It's not handy like that.
Despite the great reviews, some still have their doubts about the product, an opinion a partner here is hoping to change.
It's looking bogus, okay, but it's a very good product that helps in instantly, just on your wrist, instantly, once you feel you've touched things that you could not infect other people, instantly it sanitizes your hand. So people should not look at it that, okay, it's looking big, it's from Nigeria or something. They should just look at it that, okay, this is another alternative for preventive measures in order to stop the spread of this virus from one person to persons.
With about 60 million Nigerians lacking access to clean water to wash their hands, this innovation may prove to be the missing link between impoverished communities and cleaner hands to flatten the curve. Annetta Felix, TV360, Nigeria.
We'll take a break here to bring you business stories and more. Welcome back. Let's now join Annette Felix for the latest business stories.
Thank you, Fidelia. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, have described as untimely the planned hike in electricity tariff. The lawmakers said this while addressing State House correspondents after a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari and the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo on the issue. Electricity distribution companies had announced plans to increase electricity tariff to address the issue of epileptic power supply in the country. But that plan has now been suspended after the discos met with the leadership of the National Assembly. President Muhammadu Buhari says his administration is committed to ensuring timely delivery of the landmark Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas AKK pipeline project within budgetary allocation and specifications. The president gave this assurance at the virtual flag-off ceremony of the project at the Ajaokuta, Kogi State and Rigachikum Kaduna State campsites simultaneously. President Buhari noted that the AKK project is part of the delivery of the present administration's next level agenda for sustainable development, enhancement of economic prosperity, and increase in the country's infrastructural assets.
When operational, the cascading effect and impact of the project will be immeasurable. It has significant job creation potential, both direct and indirect, while fostering the development and utilization of local skills and manpower. Technology transfer and promotion of local manufacturing. In this regard, I challenge our private sector to lead the change in maximizing our gas resources to create a petrochemical hub that will resurrect not only our manufacturing capacity, but place us squarely on the path to increase self-sufficiency. Today marks an important chapter in the history of our great nation. It marks the day when our domestic natural gas pipeline networks from Obiafu in River State, Escravos in Delta State, and Lekki in Lagos State are being connected through Kaduna to Kano states, thereby enhancing national energy security, creating balanced development, and further integrating our nation.
On Tuesday, oil prices slipped as traders took profits after sharp gains in the previous session, and Libya's state oil company flagged progress on talks to resume exports, potentially boosting supply. The more active Brent crude futures for September fell 24 cents to $41.61 a barrel, pairing Monday's 92% gain. The August contract, which expires on Tuesday, fell 24 cents to $41.47 a barrel, while U.S. crude was down 33 cents, and that's at 39.37 a barrel. Coronavirus cases continue to rise in southern and southwest U.S., but strong growth in U.S. pending home sales boosted some optimism that global fuel demand is rising. We'll take a break here and we'll be right back with stock market updates. The Nigerian stock market had started the week on a positive note, with the all-share index rising by 0.12% and investors gaining 15.588 billion naira. But today, the bears have the market. The all-share index on Tuesday is dipping by minus 1.53%, and that's to close at 24,479.22 basis points. And the market cap here is dropping to 12.769 trillion naira, indicating losses of 183 billion naira on the Nigeria Stock Exchange for investors. Let's see our percentage laggards and market activity here, as you can see, is on the brighter side compared to yesterday, with over 280 million units of shares sold, totaling 3.138 billion naira, and that's in 4,464 deals. And speaking about the percentage laggards, we see here that two equities trading in building materials, BUA Cement and Dangote Cement, are losing. BUA Cement here by minus 4 naira and 3 kobo, and Dangote Cement here losing, as we can see, by 1 naira. Let's see all the percentage laggards today. Lafarge Africa PLC, WAPCO and Cadbury Nigeria PLC are also declining by 8 kobo and 75 kobo as well. Let's see, we see that our top gainers here on the flip side is Okomo Oil Palm PLC gaining by 7 naira. Nigeria Breweries here by 1 naira and 1 kobo. We also see that Vitafoam and Nemet here are making gains as well. And now to news on the foreign scene. FTSE is having a bearish market day, while market sentiment have pushed the all-share index here to a bullish close in the Dow and Nikkei. And that's it from here, Fidelia.
Thank you, Annette. Now to the foreign scene. China's parliament has passed the controversial national security legislation for Hong Kong, which Beijing says is necessary to tackle issues of terrorism, subversion and foreign interference. The bill was passed unanimously by the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress at a 3-day meeting that began on Sunday. The legislation will come into effect when it is gazetted in Hong Kong and is expected to be enforced by July 1st, which is the anniversary of the territory's return to Chinese rule. In sport, the Confederation of African Football (CAF) has postponed the next edition of Africa Cup of Nations, which was slated for next year, 2021. The CAF Executive Committee confirmed this development on Tuesday after a virtual meeting. The decision has been influenced by the current global situation in regard to the COVID-19 pandemic that has seen a number of events or activities either called off or postponed. And that's it on News Now. Many thanks for joining us. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Bye for now.